Hi, it's Cynthia Mason. I'm a Canadian lawyer and trademark agent with the law firm of Mason PC and with Markably, our online trademarking platform. And in this video, I want to share the answer to the most common question that I am asked in initial client consults. That question is, can I trademark my name? And generally speaking, we can get a lot of different names through to trademark registration. So, for those of you who don't know, a trademark registration is a federal government grant of the exclusive right to use a name in connection with goods and services. And so it's a pretty powerful tool and one that every brand owner should be aspiring to have in their arsenal of legal tools. It's great for stopping other people from using your exact same name or even names that are just confusingly similar. Anyway, I digress. So, most business owners, new business owners, want to know if the name they're using or that they're planning to use can actually be trademarked. And so in this video, I want to share with you kind of the general guidelines or the rules, which is really a breakdown of the types of words and terms and names that just can't be trademarked for the most part. And here they are. So the first kind of standard that you have to meet in terms of trademarking a name is it has to be unique. If it's like another name in your industry, you likely won't be able to trademark it. And in fact, you shouldn't be using it because there is a good chance that you could be liable for trademark infringement or passing off or just causing confusion with that other business. So the next kind of level of analysis that you would put into whether your name can be trademarked is it distinctive? So distinctiveness means that the name actually points to one single source, or it's at least capable of doing that. And basically, there are just certain types of words that just aren't. They're not inherently distinctive. They're not capable of pointing the public to just one company. And so the words and kind of terms that fall under this category of inherently non-distinct names are descriptive names. That's the first kind of category. So a name that tells exactly what it is you're selling is not going to be considered descriptive. So, very basic example, you can't use the word apple to sell apples. You can't use, well, there isn't really an alternate word for apple, but, other languages that say apple, you could not use as a trademark for apples. So descriptive words that tell the public exactly what you're selling, you're not going to be able to trademark that. But in addition to that, names that tell the public features or characteristics of what it is you're selling, you're also not going to be able to trademark that. So an example would be juicy apple. It's, telling people it's an apple, but it's also telling people that it's juicy. You couldn't just drop the word apple and say, okay, well, my trademark juicy is for apples. It's just basically telling the public a feature or a characteristic of your apples. And so you're not going to be able to trademark that. So if your name falls into either of those categories, it's descriptive of the actual product or service you sell, or it's descriptive of a feature or characteristic of what it is you sell, you're not going to be able to trademark it. Now, other words and terms that just aren't generally capable of being trademarked as names are kind of quality words. So stay away from words like best, super, ultra, or perfect. These are words that are trying to convey a particular quality about your products or services, and you're not going to be able to trademark those. Although it's always great to show the public that your products and services are fantastic and that they're of really high quality, you got to find really creative ways to go about that. And it's more subtle than actually using a word or term that describes a quality. Other words or other types of words that just really you can't trademark are geographical words. So it's common in a lot of different industries to trademark or try to brand products or services, particularly services, as coming from a particular location. But the reality is that you can't stop somebody from opening up a competing business right across the street with you and using the same geographical word to describe, or in their business name as well. So geographical words generally don't make great names because you can't trademark them and you can't stop other people in that same geography from using those words in their brands. Personal names. Now, this is kind of a tricky one because in some cases, a personal name, can be used. It makes sense to be a business brand. But in other cases, if you have a fairly common name, there's not that much distinctive about it, you haven't been using it for very long, you're not selling very broadly across Canada, generally speaking, names don't make great trademarks. There are always exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, if you're starting out your business and you're looking for a distinctive way to brand yourself, unless you're in a very personal type of business, like you're an influencer or you're a fashion or interior designer, those generally don't make great names and they're very difficult to trademark. Now, if you're still committed to using a name that has a word in it, or that is a word or a combination of words that just fall under these general categories of words and terms that just aren't generally capable of being trademarked, you may still be able to get a trademark so long as you can show that that name has become distinctive of you all across Canada. Generally requires several years of really extensive use and marketing to be able to establish that your name has become distinctive of a single source, in particular your company. Then you may be able to get a trademark for it. It's a pretty high standard to meet, and it's going to require a fairly complex and involved registration process. If you are unsure of whether your name can be trademarked and you would like our quick advice, schedule a free consult with us. We are always happy to give our quick 2 cents view on whether something can be trademarked without going into too much analysis. It's not something that we do in a free consult, but we're always happy to give our kind of initial sense on how difficult it will be to trademark a name. Schedule a free consult with us. We are happy to talk to you.